Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return is please refer a friend, or I'll hit you in the face with a brick. What? I can't say that? Today we'll be looking at the exhaustion gap. This is one of 4 different types of gaps you need to be aware of. The exhaustion gap is a great reversal signal, a great opportunity to, in this case, go short. You can have them in a downtrend as well. It's a reversal pivot point. It's something you need to learn to spot. The exhaustion gap will have a good volume behind it. Basically, what you have to start with is a nice, in this case, uptrend. You could see it in a downtrend as well, but you're going to see a nice trend going on for an extended period of time, and then all of a sudden you're going to get this big move, a big gap on strong volume that won't actually go anywhere. That's one of the telltale signs, is that it gaps up, and then you may trade for a day or 2, 3, 4, 5. Typically it's over within a week, and that's it. It never actually went anywhere, and then you'll see a nice move to the downside. All of this will be showing good volume behind this, especially on the selling side, and this you'll typically find a new low formed relatively quickly right after that top has formed. This is a great shorting opportunity. Again, let me clean this chart up. Another thing you'll notice about that sell-off, once you've had this exhaustion gap form, and you get that sell-off, it's on good volume, and you'll notice that the selling will have larger candlesticks behind it than you've seen in the past. During the bullish uptrend, your selling is going to be much smaller, more contained, but once you roll over, everybody kind of realizes they're out of energy, they're exhausted, you'll see it just start to sell off and a lot more strength behind the move. You'll know when you're looking at the exhaustion gap that it's either an exhaustion gap, it can't be a common gap because it'll have too high a volume. The volume behind the exhaustion gap will be very large, while the common gap will have a low volume. It can't be a breakaway gap because you don't have a consolidation period when these form. These don't form after a consolidation period. So if you see a consolidation period going on, like you had moved up here and then consolidated like so, and then saw a gap, it couldn't be an exhaustion gap because you had a consolidation period first. So it had to be either a runaway gap or an exhaustion gap. And one of the ways to tell which you're looking at is that a runaway gap will happen, and you can see it happen in a overbought condition of the oscillator you may be using, whether it be a slow Stodge, Williams %R like I'm using here, or whatever oscillator you're using. You will find it is overbought. However, the exhaustion gap will tend to happen after you've had a prolonged period of time in the overbought condition. Okay. The method I use for trading these is when I'm seeing a nice bullish move to the upside, in this case bullish, when I'm seeing a big move going on and I'm looking for it to get to the top. I know it's coming, I just don't know exactly where, and I see a big gap like this. What I'll do is wait, and if I get a nice move to the downside like we got here, I'll immediately go short and put a stop at the high right there, 1 cent above that high. That allows me to make substantial profits on the downside here with a lot of momentum to the downside. Sometimes you'll get after you've sold off, you'll get a move back to up here, but typically they form a lower high and they just continue to sell off substantially from that point. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.